Check, check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Check 1, 2. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Circuit of the Americas, live here in Austin today at RideSmart Motorcycle School. This is a test broadcast. This is something new we're trying out. This is a live stream. We're sitting in the corner of turn 12 right now. And in the control booth with me is Mr. Jordan Pollard. He'll be running the cameras today. Again, we're testing the cameras. We're just making sure the connectivity is good here, checking our different angles, checking all of our communications. Uh, Looking for in a few weeks, we're going to be doing the COTA event. The CMRA is going to be racing here on July 4th weekend, and we're going to have a professional broadcast for you folks. And today is again just making sure that everything works. Also in the booth with me is senior RideSmart instructor, Stacy Braden. She's going to be hanging out. We're going to be talking about riding, females in riding, and we're going to have some other guests as well. Some of our other vendors are going to come up. But Stacy, tell us real quick about how long you've been with RideSmart and what's going on today and how track day works.
Thank you very much. So, how long I've been riding? I started riding street back in like 2007, 2008. And then I started doing track days probably about 2009, off and on, some breaks in the middle. But generally speaking, since then, I've been instructing with RideSmart since about 2020 and loving every minute.
Awesome. So who's out here now and what's going on the track?
Right now is the experienced group. And so, you know, every 20 minutes, different groups go out. They get released from the grid on the front straight and they go ride for 20 minutes. And then we rotate through every group, starting with advanced, intermediate, experienced, and then novice. So the experienced group is out right now.
So the experience group, the way that we do this, Ride Smart is truly a school. We start guys straight off the street that really can barely ride a motorcycle, and we take them out. And what we'd like to say is that this is the safest training environment possible. Can't say that enough about riding on the street. There's a lot of cars, there's traffic, of course, there are police officers, everything else to keep you from riding and using your bike's potential. And that's what track days are all about. So right now, the experience group you see on track is they're one of the faster groups. These guys have been riding for a couple of years. They've got a pretty good skill set. They're not quite ready to go to the advanced group and start thinking about going professional, but they're very adept riders. Um, but in here in just a few minutes, once the experienced group drops off, we're going to have our novice group go out. Those guys are fresh. A couple of guys, actually about half of the group coming up, it's their first time ever on a racetrack. And that's one of the things that we wanted to show you guys today in this broadcast is how safe and how controlled riding at RideSmart Motorcycle School is. Stacy, you want to talk about that a little bit?
Sure. So, like you mentioned, the novice group coming out. When we first release those guys, we have a round robin session. So we take them around the track in different groups. We split up into different groups within that group of riders, and we take them around, show them all the lines, go at a pace that's very reasonable and really safe, and just really show them how to get around the track. And then the rest of the day, we will lead them around one lap, and then take turns with two different students that are within our group of assigned students, and we video them as well. So we're really showing them lines, pace, just a whole lot of different skills that they can apply as they start moving up through the additional levels.
So one of the big questions is a lot of people, there's a lot of misconceptions about coming to a racetrack. Some people think, oh gosh, I have to be such a good rider and go fast to go to a racetrack. Nothing could be further from the truth. Even if you have only a minor skill set, we say guys need to, spend 5, 6 months on your bike, know how to ride on the street to a decent highway pace. And after that, you're ready to come to the racetrack. You do not have to be a pro racer to come out here. We want to get our hands on you early so we can teach you how to really learn how to control your motorcycle before you develop those bad habits. So Stacy was talking about the novices when they come out. We literally lead you around this racetrack at some turns at 20 miles an hour. On the backstretch, we'll stretch our legs a little bit, but I can't stress enough how of a slow pace you can actually be. You don't have to be a pro to come ride on a racetrack. Um, so how much time do we have left here in experience? Anybody? We've got if you're not familiar, we have the RideSmart app for anybody that's here in attendance. If you don't have the RideSmart app, please download. It's going to give you all the times. Even spectators here today, you can see who's on grid and what's going on. Real quick, I also want to talk about FP1. We've got a sponsor, FP1 Timing. They provide lap timing for all of our students here. So some of the more faster groups, you can see exactly how fast you're going around the racetrack. We wanted to bring that up real quick, Jordan. I don't know if we can try that timing out. During our upcoming CMRA races, we're going to have live timing. We're going to have instant replay and all of the wonderful things you may see on ESPN or Fox Sports 1 broadcast. So again, this is a test broadcast. We're testing some of this stuff. Brief hold, please. While we're waiting on that image, Stacy, what's your favorite turn on this racetrack and why?
Well, my favorite turn actually is turn 13 because it's to me the most challenging turn. So I really like practicing that turn. I think you definitely had a view of it up earlier. It's more flat. There's a lot of different lines through it. And then as you go through that turn, you're immediately pulling your vision forward to go into turn 15. And then after that is, 16, 17, 18 with the carousel, which is super fun. But Turn 13 is really my favorite just because it's actually my biggest challenge.
Have you ever crashed there before?
Are you jinxing me? Like, no,
I'm just
no. Knock on wood, I have not crashed at this track.
all right, all right. No, honestly, at a track day, there's no reason you should ever crash. But turn 13, that is a challenging turn. It's one of those where a lot of people overbrake and they come in without loading the bike. And for those that don't know what that is, that's something we teach. It's one of the skills coming into school. A lot of folks off the street just don't understand what it means to load the tire, to work the tire. Um, Incidentally, when you get to the older groups, we'll teach you that actually getting on the brakes and dragging the brakes and trail braking in is where you can actually gain a lot of control of your motorcycle as you come through the turns. But that's down the road here. So what we got? Experience group. I think they're coming off track now. We got a checkered flag for those guys. Is that right? Oh no, we've got a red flag out there. We don't like the color red at all. And that's something at a track day. Like I said, you really shouldn't crash here, but every now and then things do happen. We just had an oil spill earlier. This is a safe environment, but at a track day, you're sitting there, you see a red flag. What's the first thing you do? You kind of, where are my friends? Where are they at? Making sure it's not one of your friends. But we got a red flag. We're going to take a brief hold here. We're going to check a few technical things, and we'll be back in just a minute. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back live. Again, this is a test broadcast. This is only a test broadcast for the live stream here at RideSmart Motorcycle School at Circuit of the Americas. We're parked out here in the bus. Again, this is Jordan Pollard here in the booth with me. He's running the cameras for us today. We've got Stacy Braden, senior instructor, with us, and just now stepping in is Mr. Christopher Hamlet of South Central Race Center. He is our local Pirelli rep, former Moto America racer. He works in the Moto America paddock. He's going to talk tires with us in just a second. But before we get into that, let's take a quick look around the racetrack while it's nice and quiet here. We've got cameras in most of the corners of this racetrack. We are down a camera or two today. We'll have that worked out before the COTA race. But look here, Jordan's got a nice view of the front stretch at COTA. If you have never been here, this facility is absolutely beautiful. It is the best motor racing circuit in America. This is the front stretch where everyone wins and loses every race that comes through here. You see the grandstands. You see the building to the right is actually at RideSmart Motorcycle School, where we have our classrooms. Our students go upstairs. They work with the instructors through different theories. They go down and get on their bikes, and they'll grid out right there. You can see the right side of the track. That's our pit entrance. The students will come up the hill here, staying left to that very ever so important white blend line, moving up the hill into turn one, which is from this angle, it's hard to see the elevation, but that is a steep, very, very steep uphill turn. You'll see some of the fast guys coming up the hill, still grabbing another gear before they ever get on the brakes. Pretty neat corner. We just had a little bit of a little whoopsie here, and they're still cleaning that up. So you see the crew out here in turn one, just cleaning up a little bit of a mess. We'll get everybody back to action here in just a second. We'll have the novices coming out, which we want everybody to see. But there's our view. You can see everybody where they come in apex turn one, start heading down the hill into turn two. Our next camera angle, we're going to check this out here. Jordan's moving over to camera two. Here we go. Again, you guys, this is the test. We're just checking to make sure the cameras go where we want them to go. Turn two. Chris, you love turn two, don't you? Why do you love turn two? Are you camera shy? Come on, big guy.
I'm a big camera shy, yes. No, I really don't like hearing the sound of my own voice. Um, I really enjoy turn two. I'm not the biggest fan of the stop and go. And that first sector here at COTA, it's very fast, it's very flowy, which makes it very technical. And, from a technicality standpoint, it's a lot easier to just brake straight up and down, turn the bike around, and then hammer the throttle. Turns two through what about six, seven, somewhere around there. Uh, Carry a lot of lean angle at a lot of speed, and man, you can make a lot of passes there. So it's just a really really fun part of the track for me.
All right, coming out of turn two, we unfortunately do not have our camera working turn three into the S's, but a part of the track that everybody really, really likes is what we call the S's. It's three, four, five, and six, left, right, left, right. It's where you see the pro guys just flipping the bike left, right, left, right. And as an instructor, Stacy was telling us that's one of her favorite places to teach. Tell us why.
Kind of like Chris said, I really do like that section. I feel like all day long you can practice the stop and go turns. You've got, like turn one, 11, 12, 20. In the S's, especially turn 5 to 6, a lot of times people take that pretty wide going through there. So I really like to show them a little bit better line going into 5 and then not going out super, super wide, carrying your bike up that little hill into turn 6 before you flip it over into 7. And then also kind of showing people how they can kind of blip through different turns, 3, 4. And so whenever people really start to get that turn right, it just makes me happy. Yeah, and it's really a place where people don't realize they can pick up a lot of speed. And then when they do, they're like, oh my gosh, I had no idea. And so it just, as a teacher, it's one of the things that brings me joy.
Imagine, have to imagine as an instructor, Stacy, that is got to be pretty exciting because that's one part of the track that you can definitely see improvements, from your riders that you're coaching. Whereas the stop and go is like, okay, yeah, you stopped, you started, but you see guys picking up 2 or 3 seconds a lap. 90% of that is from that sector right there. So yeah, that's fun.
All right. Now, we didn't, again, we don't have that section on the screen here. We are down one camera today, but moving forward here out of the S's, this is coming up the hill. This is a really neat section of the track. Turn six 7 and 8. This is the flowy part. This is the part of the track where you can really just have fun riding a motorcycle, getting the bike to lean left and right. Great spot to work on getting your vision up, even for the newer riders. It's just a fun section of the track, and it's moving uphill. From this particular angle, it's looking downhill. The track looks flat. This is actually a very uphill part of an elevation change. It brings you to the top, pretty much the top half of the entire facility here. So coming up the hill, you can see the camera's panning up. 7 moving into 8 and 9. We're going to go out here and look at actually where Marquez crashed here. If you look right where Jordan's panning now, this is treacherous turn 10. I think that's a great way of calling it. It's treacherous turn 10. We actually do not allow passing in turn 10 here at RideSmart Motorcycle Schools. We just had it's just a dangerous turn. So right here, looking over the hill, it's super fun on the bike. You can just hammer the gas out of here, drift over to the right side of the track. Over there, on a lot of people use the green. You can see the tire marks here where the cars really run this section wide. But you pop over the hill and you can just slam the thing down the corner. If you look to the far left side here to turn 11, zoom in there for us, Jordan. From the top of the hill down over to Harry turn 11. I've been down here myself. That turn. It's when I was a brand new rider, learning how to trail brake and tuck the front there like an idiot. But here's a better look at turn 11. So here's rider's top 10 coming down the hill to the right. This is a great view. We're really happy with this camera angle. We're going to be able to catch some great action here in July. But there is turn 11. This is the probably the toughest, most challenging turn for new riders that come in here. Late apex and getting your brain to slow down and wait to make your turn here is just such a hard thing for newer riders because, out on the street, you've got turns coming at you at 50, 60 miles an hour. You get used to that. First time you come down at a turn 10 and you're starting to move a little bit on a motorcycle and turn 11 comes up, it's a little bit intimidating and your brain says, well, we got to slow down. And you end up just getting there a little bit too early and you end up running wide. So we spent a lot of time in class talking about all the hairpin turns here at COTA. But that would be turns 1, 11, 12, and 20. And if you can master those, if you can figure out how to be patient and late tip in, you can really have a lot of fun at this track. But that's a great view. We're happy with this. Jordan, just take us in there. How far can we zoom down the backstretch from that camera angle? This is the famous backstretch that so many people come to COTA for. So many people buy the big leader bikes because they want to hit this. I forget we have to look up the exact length. Stacy, do you know what it is? How long is the backstretch here at COTA? Yeah. Look at that. It's got a little bit of a bend to it, but you can hold whatever bike you got wide open, and that's a lot of the fun. That's part of the allure of Circuit of the Americas is the long back stretch. A lot of guys get the Ducatis and they just want to wring their necks and see, hey, how close can I get to 200? And that's one of the few places on earth that you can actually give it a shot and not have the police behind you. So, anyway, that's turn 11. That's the back stretch. Now, this is something we're really proud of here. Let's check this out, Jordan. Camera angle from turn 15. This is a fun place, not only for us to set cameras, but if you ever come here for MotoGP, the grandstands in 15 are a great spot. You can see the riders coming into 12. Stacy, you want to talk about this section of track? This is your favorite corner coming up here. Talk about 13.
13, my favorite corner because it's the most challenging corner. Yeah, it's kind of flat. I always just struggle with honestly being patient to go later and not turn in too early to it into 13. But then once you're in, you just crank that head to the right and you're looking all the way to turn 15. And it's just super fun to finish out turn 13, 14, 15, dive into 15. 15 used to be my more challenging turn, but now I love it. And I'm actually to the point where I can play with the lines a little bit in that turn too. Um, of course, we teach standard lines in our in our classroom, but as you start going up through different levels, you can kind of play with that a little bit too. And exiting 15, that's what I see a lot of people do too, is like exiting 12, exiting 15. They want to really try to hug it into the left, and so really being able to stand that bike up a little bit and get on the power, stand it up so you can get on that throttle. Not be afraid to use some of the rumble strips. That's just something that when I can do it and when I see students doing it and being confident and being able to use, for better phrase, they're all the real estate and then they, speed up their times and just everything starts to come together. So I really like that.
We actually have a little bit of technical difficulty there. It looks like the camera in turn 15 we're catching video. We're not able to control the camera right now. So we'll work on that and get that worked out. But anyway, for the rest of the time here, let's just check out some of these views. And I want to talk to Chris about tires. I've known Chris a while now. Chris is come on up here in the booth with me, man, and let's talk tires for a second. What I love about Chris, on top of the fact that he loves to talk, he's a bit of a talker. He's a talker. Is the fact that he knows his stuff when it comes to tires. He's like I said, he's not only raced Moto America, he's worked in the Moto America paddock. Give everybody your credentials real quick, and then we'll talk some actual tire tech.
Okay, I guess starting all the way back from the beginning, I started learning tires when I was in NHRA.
This is only a 1 hour broadcast.
Now you tell me. I had a whole thing planned. Yep. So credentials, I started racing motorcycles probably about close to 20 years ago. I think I'm on like maybe season 19. Um, and as you've been doing things that long, obviously with experience, you start picking up certain things. We didn't have all of the coaching in the schools back then, like you guys have available to you now. So we kind of had to learn it the hard way. But when you start getting into the racing, you start getting more experience, you start going faster and faster, you start playing with things, playing with tire pressures and playing with suspension adjustments and stuff. I'm sure most of you guys have suspension tuners. You have a tire guy like me that's trustworthy. But learning how to adjust some things on your own and just try it, see if you like it, see if you don't like it. There is no standard, there's no magic. Um, and once I got into the tire service, I started taking care of all the guys with CMRA. I'm still actively participating in CMRA, even at my old age. Um, we've done WIRA, taking care of the guys over WIRA. CVMA, I think, is one of the other ones out towards the west. And then when working with Moto America teams, last year I was with Warhorse, HSBK Ducati, and we had pretty good year last year. And being around those guys at that level, obviously, as you can imagine, it just opens your mind up to a whole new way of doing things. And what I try to do here, especially at RideSmart, is educate people, pass on that knowledge. It took me a long time to learn this stuff, and a lot of it I learned the hard way, a lot of crashes, a lot of broken bones. But I'm very thankful for the knowledge, but because I think it's very important, I try to give it away as often and as the best way I can.
So Chris, a lot of people don't realize when you come to a track day. Let's back up and let's just talk about the people that are coming here for the first time. They don't know what tire to even take to a track day. We're sitting here talking about lines and all these complicated things, and I just wanted to take a step back and remind everybody this is a school, and if you don't know the first thing about tires, we will teach you, and that's the thing. Chris can teach you. He works with the pros, but he also remembers exactly what it's like to be a new rider. And the bulk of his business, actually, a lot of it comes from newer riders at first time to the track. And there's also a lot of bad information out there on the interweb. So I encourage everyone to please, talk to somebody like Chris that can tell you at your first track day, what do you get? Where do you spend your money? And that's a key thing we try to tell people too. People come to the track, they think they got to get the fastest bike and the fastest this and exhaust and everything else. Well, the fact of the matter is, your tires, you have two credit card size patches that connect you, your motorcycle, to the racetrack. And having good grip and having a good quality product underneath your motorcycle is absolutely critical in being successful when you come to the track. So let me ask you this, Chris. For a brand new rider, let's say a guy's he's got a sport bike, he's been on the street for maybe 6, 7 months, he's starting to get comfortable. One of his friends talks some sense into him and talked him into coming out to a track day. He's prepping the week before. What tires should he put on, let's say, a 600cc sport bike for his first track day?
I mean, obviously, Josh, I'm gonna be a little partial to Pirelli, right? But working with Moto America, and I've raced, like I said, I've been racing for almost 20 years. I've raced on all of them. The key thing you want to remember is just be on something that's quality. Whether it's a Dunlop, it's Pirelli. As far as street tires go, Michelin, the Power Cups are a pretty good brand. The SR22 Bridgestones are good. Um, and it's more about understanding pressures and things that you're trying to get out of the tires. And if you think about a tire logically, that is really what we're going to teach you. But I would not get overly excited, and it's best to come out on newer stuff. If you've even though that tire might look good, but you've got a year and a half of riding on the street, man, that thing's probably got 300 heat cycles on it. And talking about heat cycles, we'll go into that in detail at some point in time in the future. But that's a very critical thing. And Just making sure that your tires are fresh. The fresher the better. And if you get here and you want to discuss pressures and stuff, I'm always available in the booth, and we can walk you through that. And that'll be dependent upon, your size, weight, what skill level you are, what bike you're on. There's a lot of variables when it comes into pressure suggestions. So, but and happy to do that.
That's the other thing I love about Chris is once you do go get up to the higher levels, Chris, like myself, he's a very analytical guy. And our other buddy, AJ Pine, super analytical person. I've seen these guys out doing tests before. They got the pyrometers out. They're measuring this, measuring that, and they're not afraid to go out and try new things. I saw him at Crescent one time throwing crazy air pressures to solve a problem. And there's a lot that goes into it. When you start to get speed and you start to get up to a higher pace, it's not just temp and pressure anymore. A lot of other things go into it. And the way that you ride the bike, the way one person rides a bike, they may like a different setting than another. And Chris knows that stuff. You got years of data, years of experience, and no matter what your level, whether you're a pro in Moto America or you're just coming to your first track day, I just can't say enough about Chris Hamlet, South Central Race Center, and Pirelli tires. That's all that I ride. I ride an SC2 front, SC1 rear on almost any race or anything I'm doing. Most of our coaches here at RideSmart, they all ride Pirellis. All the coaches on the BMS staff, they all ride Pirelli tires, and just this, it's. I tell you what, my fiance, when we first put her on her first track day, I put her on a set of SC3 DOT Pirellis. That's what I felt safe putting her on. So for what it's worth, check out your Pirelli vendor, Mr. Chris Hamlet. Chris, anything else you'd like to say to everybody at home before we let you go?
Just welcome to the broadcast. Hopefully this goes successful. I thank you for letting me be a part of the first one. That's kind of cool, man.
Well, just a brief history. When I first came here and started my coaching business, Chris was in the area, and Chris bought his business the same year, and we struggled. And I'll never forget. I had an event. I needed a couple of extra bikes, and I didn't have the money. And Chris here went out and bought me an extra TTR 125 so that I could field the number of students we had. And that was coming on 5 years ago. And look where we are now. The thing's grown, and I can't thank you enough. And now we're sitting in a van. Now we're starting some other crazy stuff. I mean, who knew? Who knew? Who knew? So, all right, Chris, thanks, man. I'm going to bring Stacy back over, and she's going to talk to us a little bit. And we've also got Blair Hart coming. He's going to come up here from Hart Photography, tell everybody about his services. And but Stacy, come talk to me. Hey, yeah, next session when you go out, we'll be looking for your bike, man. I'm not. We're gonna zoom in on two. I want to see you hard brake into one, flip it. I want to see front wheel off the ground, come down two, set it, and then rail down into two. Can you do that for me? Okay, do it on Alex's bike. All right, here you go. Yes. Nice. All right, and we're back. Stacy, talk to us about women in riding and track riding. I know this thing's really, really close to your heart. Let's talk about that.
I mean, yeah, of course, it's close to my heart. A girl. I just remember when I first started, there were like, I think there were multiple track days, so I was the only girl, and now I see more and more, and I mean, can't talk women riding motorcycles and racing and stuff without talking about Kayla Yakov. I mean, hello, I'm gonna have that little shameless plug.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So really, really excited to see more and more women come into the track. As Josh has said before, don't be afraid at all, guy or girl, to come to the track. But I love working with lady riders because well, they're just really good at like listening, learning, applying, asking questions, all day long. And the more questions we get, the better an instructor I can be. And it's just really fun to look around the paddock and be like, yeah, girl power.
I can tell you 100% that women are better students and women learn faster and better than men do.
Yeah. I don't know what else to say about that other than please don't ever hesitate to come to the track. Please find me if you're ever here. I would love to work with you.
A few years back, actually, Stacy came down to Houston. We did an all-girls training session, which was really cool. Stacy didn't know me from Adam, and she came down and hung out that day. And the program was just getting started. She probably thought I didn't know what I was doing, but we had a good time that day. And we used to do a lot of the all-girls training session, which is cool because it is a male-dominated sport to some degree. Although it's much more welcoming, I would say, than some people think that it can be. And Stacy, you're saying earlier maybe it didn't used to be so much.
It was different. And I will say, as a female rider, as a female instructor, mean times have definitely changed. Yeah, I'm not gonna say I haven't had to work to get certain respect. There was a lot of times. I mean, I've literally been hit by guys, and sorry, I
Yeah.
guess I'm not supposed to say that. My bad. But yeah, I
Long
was
time
like,
ago.
excuse, a long time ago. No, it actually was a long time ago. But or had people like say that didn't happen. I'm going, I got on tape, but I've just felt like I had to prove a lot, and it's not that that doesn't necessarily stop, but it definitely has changed. I feel very welcome here. I feel just like part of the crew. And again, back in the day, I always felt like kind of outsider or alone. And I definitely don't feel alone anymore. So that makes me really happy. Yeah.
That's really great, and I've always felt that way when the sport is that. I mean, one of my first track days, Kayla Yakov came around me at Jennings GP. I think she was 12 or 13, pigtail flapping. She was in a little Kramer, and I thought I was doing something. She just made me look like I was sitting still. And I love what Kayla's doing. If you listen to any of her interviews, she will not even refer to herself. She doesn't think about the whole women thing. She's like, I just want to be on the board with. It doesn't matter. I'm one of the riders, and that's really awesome. She's been killing it. We hope to have her come out. She actually coaches with us here at RideSmart quite often. She's doing great. If anybody following Moto America right now, she just had a lap record in Super Sport. She's killing it, and we love it when Kayla comes out and rides with us. But I got to say that the women in as far as students, I wish I could get the guys to learn as quick as the girls. The girls just I don't know what it is, just more focused. I will say we teach a lot about vision and where you're looking and when to look. And I will tell you that the women pick up on it super fast. Guys are kind of looking around and scanning everywhere and wondering where to go. Girls just get laser focused. And it makes me think back to when I was a kid and I get in trouble. My mom would stare at me with those mom eyes. And that's the only thing I can equate it to. That's a great thing. So anyway, Stacy, cool. I'm glad you came up here. I actually stole Stacy away. She is coaching today. Tell them what group you're coaching and what you've been working on with students today. I actually literally drug her out of a group of students.
Yes, I'm in the returning novice group today. So these are folks that have done a track day before. They're not first timers, but they're in the novice group. So in that group, we start the first session with round robin again, as we had mentioned, where we take everybody out and show them the lines, and then on the front straight, we kind of do this little wave, and the person right behind me goes out to the left, and everybody shuffles forward, so that hopefully given the time that we have available in a session, we can show everybody very, individually, like right behind me, the best lines around the track. And then other things that we've been working on are again just body position, approaching a turn, using logic. We're trying to show people how to use that noggin so you can make decisions that you can apply across the board.
Cool. All right, folks. Well, it looks like the track is due to an on-track incident. They shut down for lunch, and what we're going to do is we're gonna pause this broadcast for a little while. We're going to go try to work on that camera in turn 15, and maybe get a drink of water and find a few more guests to come up here. But we're tell you, when the novices go out here at 12:45, we do want to get some on-track action. We want to get some of our students on camera. Again, this is a test broadcast. This is just testing. Um, we're looking for anybody who wants to be in the booth. Honestly, until we can find someone more handsome, actually just anybody prettier, smarter, and wittier, you're stuck with me for right now. But we are looking for on track, or I'm sorry, in the booth personalities, color commentary. If you know anything about racing track days and are not afraid to have a microphone in your face, we would love to have somebody else in the booth besides me. And that way I can get back on the track and have fun with everyone else. So again, the test broadcast, we're going to take a brief break. As soon as the novices go out at 12:45 Central Time, we're going to get all that action out here, and you guys can check it out, see what a track day is all about. Stacy, anything else before we break off?
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. And thank you, Josh. All you guys really, you're working really, really hard, and we appreciate it.
We just want to grow this sport. It's a great sport. And we want to see it grow. So thank you. We'll be back here in about 30 minutes or so.